What's going on, YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. I know y'all hear I sound a little crazy. I'm still sick, so just bear with me a little bit. But with that, we're gonna get right into the story. For most of us everyday working class people out here trying to survive, it's a certain time of the month that comes around if you have your own place that most people dread. And that time is rent time. In every state and city in America, the 1st through the 5th is usually time to pay those landlords, mortgages, and apartment complexes. For a lot of people, it can be frustrating, especially if you have a job that doesn't pay that much and you are barely getting by, because we all know in today's economy, apartments that used to be like $750 10 years ago is going for double of that. But we all got to keep a roof over our head and survive. Some people tap out and decide they are done with the jobs, rent, and all that. They rather have less and live worry-free. But even as a homeless man or woman, you still have things you got to worry about. So some feel like it's better to just work hard and be comfortable. Some people have realized just having one job might not be enough to survive. So they choose to do side hustles like Uber Eats, Lyft, things to keep money flowing. So when the first does come around, they are not completely broke, because we have all been there, to the point of feeling like we are working just to pay bills and are not really enjoying our life. Some wouldn't have it no other way. Work hard to keep your peace of mind by having your own castle to go home to. Because once you close your door, the outside world doesn't exist, at least for a few hours. But sometimes in life, we find ourselves struggling, maybe even short on rent. And while some might accept what comes with that, even if it's eviction, others plan to stay in their home by any means necessary. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Chicago, Illinois to discuss the case of two brothers' crazy plan to get rid of their landlord over rent money that backfired. Back in 2018, 76-year-old Vasudeva Kefareddy had made a good life for himself in a windy city. Originally from a poor village in India, he had came to the States 40 years prior with nothing but a strong work ethic and the American dream on his mind. After working hard for years and raising his kids, he decided he would invest his money into rental properties throughout the city and become a landlord. Vasudeva owned a few properties, and now disabled and up in age, all the man had to do is find good tenants and collect money at the beginning of each month. Coming from humble beginnings himself, he was very understanding. He often rented to people who had low income, even felons who had trouble getting a place of their own with their name on the lease. Two of his tenants were brothers at the time, 25-year-old Elijah Green and 22-year-old Tony Green. They stayed at one of Vasudeva's properties in the 6200 block of South May Street. Things were going good at first. He would often sit, talk to the brothers about what they had going on, his family, grandkids, and how it was growing up in India. But in August 2018, the brothers found themselves in a jam. They knew their landlord would be making his rounds, collecting rent money, and they were shook. They thought to themselves, what could they do? That's when they came up with a plan to lure Vasudeva to the home by saying they had a leak. On August 4th, the older gentleman was making his runs, collecting rent. He then stopped by the bank before then heading to the brother's home. And that was the last time anybody had seen or heard from the man. His family would file a missing person report to police. They would even offer reward money. His son, who knew Tony and Elijah well, even pulled up to talk to them. They shook his hand, even grieved with the man, telling him how much love they had for his father. About a month would go by when neighbors on South May realized a car was parked on the block for a minute. Police were notified and soon realized the vehicle belonged to Vasudeva. They continued searching the area, including the soil close by where the car was parked at. They would make a shocking discovery, and unfortunately, find the body of the older gentleman already gone. His cause of death was asphyxiation. Once police found the body and it was close to one of his properties, witnesses came forward. One person claimed they overheard Elijah and Tony planning to get rid of their landlord, hoping they could probably live rent-free for a minute. They stated Tony called about a fake leak, and when the landlord pulled up, Elijah snuck up behind the man, put him in a chokehold until he felt he wasn't moving no more. They then saw Elijah carry the body over his shoulder outside, but they couldn't find a good spot to dump the man, so they left him in his own car for a day before moving the car down the block and dumping Vesadeva in the soil. After that, the brothers used his credit cards and took $1,600 cash from the man. As police talked to the brothers, they admitted to calling their landlord, but stated he left their home alive. But a search of Tony's phone gave up the plan. As he searched on Google, how long does it take for a body to decompose in a soil? With witnesses in the phone search, both brothers was taken into custody. They both was charged with first-degree hit. Vesadeva's son spoke out after their arrest. He was in shock, stating the brothers hugged him and shook his hand, knowing what they did to his father. He stated his father was an understanding man. He would have let them pay late or worked something out if they just would have spoke to him about the issue. As the case made its way to court, with the witnesses and evidence from Tony's phone, it was open and shut. Both of the brothers were found guilty on all charges. Tony would receive 47 years in prison, and Elijah 45 years. Rest in peace to Vesadeva. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. I don't know if Tony and Elijah really felt by doing this they wasn't never going to have to pay rent again, but this was definitely a dummy mission. There's no way possible they thought they was going to get away with this move. That just goes to show you how desperate people become when it comes to money. It's like all the logical thinking just goes out the window. But I guess ironically, they both got their wish to live rent-free for 40 plus slices in a prison cell. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation. Leave it in the comments. And remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that man. I definitely send my prayers to his family. I don't know what they was thinking about. We all gotta pay rent. We gotta pay somebody. Unless you own your home, and even with that, every year you still gotta pay property taxes. Because if you don't, they coming to get that. But yeah, I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you stayed with me and made it to the end. I know my voice sounded a little crazy. This is another episode of Hood Tales. This your boy Tony 2 times. Law&Crime. I'm out.